You know the feeling. We've all been there, right? Staring at an accumulator, just one leg to go for a big win, and then you get let down by a so-called safe bet. Some big-name team that just should have won. Well, today, we're going to break down exactly why that keeps happening. It's a thing, it's called the PSG trap, and we're going to figure out how to climb right out of it. So let's just jump right in with a question for you. Seriously, think about your own betting history for a second. How many times has a team like PSG or Dortmund or Manchester United, with those crazy low odds, failed to get a simple win and just completely busted your multi-bet? If you're thinking, yeah, way too many times to count, then you are in exactly the right place. And look, this isn't just a hunch or a feeling, it's a real frustrating pattern. One bettor actually shared that he got caught in this exact trap. And get this, he won on just 2 out of 38 match days. And his mistake? He kept betting on the famous names, thinking they were sure things. He was betting like a fan, not like a trader. So let's dig into the psychology here. Why do we keep falling for the same old trick? Well, it turns out that our instincts, our gut feelings about these huge clubs, are the very things leading us down the wrong path. The heart of the problem has a name. It's called reputation bias. It's this mental shortcut we all take where we automatically trust a familiar brand or a big name, and we start ignoring their actual recent performance. And you better believe the bookmakers know all about this, and they are absolute masters at using it against us. And who are the main culprits? Well, they're exactly the teams you'd think. Global brands like PSG and Manchester United, with millions and millions of fans. But all that fame, it just doesn't guarantee a win. And the bookies, they exploit this like crazy. They set these super low odds because they know that tons of fan bets are going to pour in no matter what the team's actual form is. And this creates two totally different ways of thinking. The fan is betting with their heart. It's all about emotion, hope, and just recognizing the name. But the bookmaker, they are operating with cold, hard data. They see the public's emotional bias, and they use that to set a line that makes them money in the long run. Okay, so we've identified the trap. The question is, how do we get out? The answer isn't about finding a safer big team. No, it's about changing the entire game we're playing. This right here is the fundamental shift you have to make in your head. We have to stop trying to predict a single, pretty unpredictable result, who wins. Instead, we need to focus on what is often consistent, the team's style of play. And it all comes down to this really simple 3-step process. First step, just ignore the win-lose-draw market for these trap teams. Forget about it. Second, analyze their goals. How many do they score? How many do they concede? And third, bet on the range of goals you expect in the game, not the final result. Suddenly, this opens up a whole new set of betting markets that are way more reliable. Things like over 1.5 goals or a specific goal range. This is an absolute goldmine for those attacking teams in high-scoring leagues. Like the Bundesliga or the Dutch Eredivisie, where goals are just a much more dependable thing than an outright win. All right, that's the theory, but let's make this real. We're going to walk through a classic PSG game, a classic trap scenario, to see exactly how this strategy can flip a losing bet into a winner. So picture this, it's a story you've probably lived through. PSG are at home, they're massive favorites, odds are like 1.20 to win, you stick them in your accumulator, but the game ends in a super frustrating 1-1 draw. And just like that, your bet is toast. But now, look at this, a side-by-side comparison. In the exact same game, the PSG to win bet is a loser, but the over 1.5 goals bet, which, by the way, had even better odds in this case, is a winner. Same game, same outcome, but totally different strategies and opposite results. It's really that simple. The winning strategy didn't care one bit that PSG failed to win. It didn't care about some defensive mistake or a missed sitter. All that mattered was the total number of goals in the match. 2. That's it. That's all you needed. You see how powerful this shift is? You're no longer gambling on a volatile, up and down, unpredictable result. Instead, you're investing in a team's consistent identity, their culture, their tendency to play attacking football that produces goals, whether they end up winning, losing, or drawing. So, what's the real payoff here? It's bigger than just one winning bet. This is about changing your approach for good. It's about evolving from being a hopeful fan into a smart, data-driven analyst. And this really shows the two mindsets side by side. Over on the left, you've got the fan, emotionally invested,
gets super frustrated when a sure thing lets them down. On the right, you have the analyst, detached, calm, just looking for patterns and finding the market with the best chance of success. The only question is, which one do you want to be?
Because ultimately, this is the real goal. It's not about chasing that one lottery ticket accumulator that will change your life. It's about building a solid strategy that gives you steady, consistent returns by avoiding the most common traps that the bookies lay out for us. So I'll leave you with this thought for the next time you're building a bet slip. When you see one of those giant teams with those tiny little odds, just ask yourself one simple question. Am I betting on their name, or am I betting on the numbers? The answer to that question could be the difference between tearing up your slip in frustration and cashing it out with a smile.